In this video, we're going to continue on with activity 1.3.3, constraining a sketch, and we're going to be looking at steps 27 or 26, excuse me, to 29 as we take a look at kind of constraining down what we have going on. So, in this particular case, before we start doing anything, even though our file says 9 through 16, I'm going to go ahead and just let everybody know 26 to 29, we're going to go to the very end, and we may rename this file when we get this done. So before we get starting adding in, I'm already in the sketch. So if you need to go back in, make sure you're editing the original sketch, sketch 1. You can always, if you've closed out of it, right click and select edit on sketch 1. And before we do, let's also make sure that our workspace units are set to millimeters. So because these measurements will not work out so well when that happens. So just like here, when I clicked on that, I actually exited out of the sketch. So I'm going to go over here, right click on sketch 1, select edit. We're going to apply some constraints in order to make this happen. So we've applied some geometric constraints, but let's look at adding some dimensional constraints. I'm going to go ahead and select dimension. This line down here at the bottom is going to be a value of 100. And you may see some of these numbers kind of work out and kind of twist and turn and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and choose the height of this is going to be 15. We will end up seeing that the width of this up top is going to be 20. And if we need to, we can always, I'm going to go ahead and right click and say escape dimension. And let's actually pull this stuff back in here. And same thing on this side. So that way we kind of get the shape we need. And I'm going to go ahead and pull these circles up like so. And if I need to pull some of these lines up and everything, I can do so. So notice how now that I've got the dimensions in here, I can't freely move some of the things to kind of make this happen. So here I'm going to actually apply another dimensional constraint from the top line to the bottom. This is going to be 45. And we're going to have the diameter of the circle to be 5 millimeters. Notice how both are going to be adjusted there. And they end up having us adding in a few other things here. So I'm going to go ahead and right click and select escape dimension. Notice how this line can kind of move up and down. Let's go ahead and I'm going to just choose dimension. I did forget one right here. This is going to also be 15 millimeters. And notice how these two lines are still blue, and they're kind of, we're still able to kind of move and pivot these around a little bit. Now, one thing too is you're going to notice that this circle does not have the constraint to this particular point, kind of like what it does on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that vertical constraint from that point to the center of the circle. And that way they stay together. And then the other thing too is that you're going to notice that we really want to maintain a perpendicular constraint between this line and this line. And that's going to, I'm going to escape there, and that's going to maintain kind of and give us a fully constrained sketch and to finish out. This will end up finishing out step number 29. And in the last, we'll go through steps 30 through 35 just to make some changes and to talk about design intent.